in about 3 seconds.
Are we live?
Well, I don't know. I've got YouTube on my TV. Doesn't look like we are yet, but there is a big delay on YouTube, so we'll see. Yeah, I can see it on my TV. It's just clicking in. Yeah, we're live.
How
All right,
you
I'm going
keep?
to turn my now. I'm going to turn my TV down a second.
How you keeping, Steve?
Uh,
All right.
yeah, pretty good, Dan. Nearly set fire to the house yesterday or day before yesterday. Sorry, I've got one of these little they're called portable cookers that I use. We've got two kitchens: the inside kitchen, the outside kitchen.
Yeah, that's what I plan on
As
having.
I'm sure you know, all Thai houses have an
Yeah,
outside kitchen, inside kitchen,
that's what I. Yeah,
and and in the inside kitchen we got the microwave, the air fryer, the halogen cooker. We haven't got an oven though, and
oh, you
I
no.
do a lot of my cooking on this little camping. In effect, it's a camping stove, but it's really good, cheap as anything to run it. Hold on. Oh no, sorry.
You
Somebody
you
wanted to join,
you
but
you
he's
could
got.
purchase a gas cooker though, couldn't you?
Say again.
You could purchase a gas cooker,
Oh, we
so
could do,
but and an
but
oven.
my wife my wife generally cooks outside
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because the smell of the chili
Oh
and
God, I'm okay. Yeah,
all the rubbish they put into it, we
I
don't want in the
me.
house. I cook my steaks, pork chops, eggs and bacon on this little one one burner cooker.
Ah,
But I
yeah.
bought some cheap butane gas stuff from Lasada and I didn't test it, put it in, lit it up, Dan. You could have welded with the power that came off of these burners. It just went nuclear. And I I know you could. There's a button on there you can click to get rid of the to eject the canister. Didn't think of that. So we've got 8-inch high, like a ring of um, blow torches burning up. You could feel the heat from I was what 4 foot back. You could feel it was ridiculous. I thought the whole thing was going to blow up. Didn't think about ejecting the gas cylinder. So we had a mop, a wet mop, and a bucket of and the washing up bucket of water. Ah, damn.
Oh
What's
mate.
scary, mate? Although I'm talking about it in a jokey way,
No, no, no.
fuck
Seriously, mate.
me.
That was
It.
inside as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was in the kitchen.
Oh God
It.
Almighty.
It was. And it just shows you, that I think somebody, more about this than I do, but I think somebody said the best laid plans, in military terms, as soon as the shells start falling, they go out the window because people don't. I knew there was this button on there you could eject the canister. Went totally out of my mind, Dan. Didn't think about it
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
because it was. Well, I don't
have
think I've
you
ever panicked in my life, but it was scary.
have you calmed down today? You seem like it.
Oh, Dad, what did you listen to last night?
I listen to sounds all the time, mate.
All right. Look, if Robert and Uwe are listening, I'm sorry. I did get a bit
I
angry,
don't think you got.
but
I don't
Thailand
think.
is my chosen home,
Yeah.
and I'll defend it because I'll defend it. I think it's much better than most Western countries for
Yeah.
morals, for
Exactly.
family
And I knew
attitudes.
your point. I knew what point of view you was trying to get across. Like. But unfortunately, uh, what is it like the sentences that you were trying to make, or your defense, like, you know.
Was I too drunk?
Well,
You can
no,
be honest, Dan.
I don't think you was too drunk, mate. You didn't. You sound exactly the same to me all the time, anyhow. So we don't know when
Oh,
you're right.
well,
We
well,
don't
thank you,
know.
Dan.
We don't know. You don't. You don't, mate. You don't, Steve. Like, you know. But I think what you was trying to say is what I can like relate to, and I understand where you was coming from and everything like that, and you know what the American guy was trying to say was his point of view, like, you know. So I think there was just a bit of a clash, like, of like what you was trying to say and what he was trying to say, like, you know. And
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know even know what his name is. Is it Roy or
Robert Tucker,
Rob?
great guy.
Rob?
Honestly, one of the most genuine
Yeah,
people on
I don't think he.
YouTube. I love the guy to bits.
Yeah, I
So
don't think.
and Juve as well, the German. I love
Oh,
them
I
both
like
to bits.
Uwe.
But they watched, and Banana King's here, so hopefully he's listening. They watched the thing that bloody Banana King put. Sorry, mate.
Mm.
That Banana King put out
I
about.
saw that documentary. I saw that documentary. I think it was on DW, DW or something like that. I think I watched the same documentary,
Okay.
and
I didn't watch. I
think they're
watched
talking
5
about
minutes of it, Dan. Sorry, mate. I'm interrupting. I don't mean to.
I think they're talking about the documentary with the Roman numerals tattooed on the girl's arms. Is that the one?
I didn't get that far into it.
Well, apparently they have Roman
Look,
numerals tattooed on their arm for their date
do you
of birth.
do you understand the analogy? If I say cheese pizza, can you take the first two letters from that and understand the word I'm coming from? CP.
Not really, mate. I'm not in.
Oh, well, the first word is child.
Yeah,
Right,
I'm not
doesn't
really
matter.
a. I'm sorry, mate. I'm probably a bit.
Look, they were trying to say that Patia was the #1 place in the world for the most
Okay,
disgusting acts
okay. Yeah,
that
yeah,
the world's
yeah,
ever seen.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
totally disagree with it. I think Thailand
I think it used to be.
has it's never been that, Dan. Really hasn't.
I don't
Let's
know.
not get into that
I don't
argument again,
know.
but it
When
really
I
hasn't.
when I
There
first
are other countries around Thailand
yeah,
that happens in. Doesn't happen in Thailand. It's
I
the worst country in the world you ever want to come and do that. At the
no,
very
no.
best, you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life. And most cases,
Well,
you'll
look at
just be dead.
Smiley Face. What was his name? Smiley Face or Swirly Face?
Again, mate?
Swirly
I
Face, was he one of the biggest paedophiles that got arrested in Thailand?
Smiley
Remember
face.
the
I don't know
one?
the guy. I don't know the story.
Well, he was a famous paedophile in Thailand.
Mm.
That they called him the Swirly Face, and he used to
Mm.
he swirled his face.
Oh,
whilst
okay.
He was,
I understand what you mean now.
right. But
Mm.
governments like the CIA and Interpol and MI5 were able to unswirl the face.
Oh, brilliant.
So he used to swirl his face thinking he would get away with it, but they unswirled his face and said, right, he's in Thailand.
Okay.
And he was called the Swirly Face. And he was one of the most...
Dan. Okay, Dan, let me explain my point very quickly. I do follow what you're saying. I'm sure it does happen in Thailand. But it happens in every country, in every place in the world. We have a horrible... Well, Dan, gosh, you're English. You know about the Pakistanis grooming...
Bradford? I was going to say Bradford.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous. And they got away with it. And I think, what did they get? maybe 3 or 4 years in jail for each of them at the most.
I can remember
And
going to.
they did horrendous things,
I can remember
absolutely
going to Worcester.
horrendous.
I can remember going to Worcester City Centre as a youngster, like 12 years old, going to the city centre and all that sort of stuff. Like, you know, and you would see a girl my age with a bunch of Asian guys, you know, and
Right? Yeah.
and you would look at her and you think, but you didn't put two and two together until you started growing up a few more years, and then you start thinking, oh my God, you know.
Mm. No,
You know, it
that's all I was
happens
trying to say,
everywhere.
Dan.
I've
Look,
seen it in Pattaya.
can we
I've
just
seen it.
hold on, Dan? Can we just welcome Banana King?
Hey
Hello,
guys,
sir.
yeah, good day.
How you doing?
Yeah, good day, Dan.
Banana King, I'm sorry I got angry last night.
No,
but
no worries.
I do
It's an
defend
unsavoury
Thailand.
I know
It
it's
is,
an
yeah.
unsavoury topic.
And I have to defend Thailand because I genuinely, it is not through any other reason. I genuinely think Thailand, they have much better family values than most Western countries.
Oh,
You know, the children respect their parents, the grandparents. They do anything for them.
What other country in the world has Children's Day?
And we respect. Yeah. Well, I say we, but I respect that for you, Steve, because you're there. You visit there a lot with your, to go and have a weekend with your mates and socialise with your mates. But you have eyes on the ground, pretty regular there, and and I know that's not prevalent, but the documentary was making out that it's on the rise, what they presented in that documentary, it was just fucking nasty.
Was it DW, Adrian? Was it DW?
Yeah,
Hello
DW,
there. How are you, Adrian?
Good, thanks, Dan. It was a DW documentary.
I watched that documentary, and I was just saying to Steve, is that the one where they got the Roman numerals tattooed on their arm?
No, another one then.
Ah, right. Well, the one that I saw, they had Roman numerals tattooed on their arm to say that what their date of birth was.
It was one that was specifically talking about underage prostitution.
Yeah, well, this was as well.
Particularly
and I reckon they're going for it, aren't they? They're going for these bar owners in Pattaya.
Well, this was the bar right in Soy 7, a beer bar.
You said about that.
They got caught red-handed. And Steve, I did not know the age of the girls last night because that wasn't said in the documentary, but I've since researched and found the police presentation of what happened, and the girls were 14 and 15.
Okay.
And now there's no way a man can take a 14 or 15-year-old for a 20-year-old.
No, you're right. Absolutely. And in Thailand, it's still working. 14 or 15-year-old girl will be looking 11 or 12. So
they weren't just serving drinks or working because their mum owned the bar. They were paying bar fines to let those girls go, and the men that were caught with them had taken them 3 times each, a German and a Brit. And they paid $2,000 for sex with the girl.
All right. Well, look, let's move on, guys.
It's a nasty subject.
It is a really nice subject, but and I did get a bit heated last night. So if Robert's listening and Juve's listening, I do apologise, guys. But it's my country. Right? It's my chosen country. It's my chosen country. I'll defend it to the hilt because Steve, I genuinely think it's better than most Western countries. I really do.
I really hardly class Pattaya as really Thailand even.
No,
I know it is Thailand, but the behaviour, like the way people are in Pattaya, it's really not.
No, it's totally different to Bangkok, and
out of
Isan, it's not even real Thailand. It's just a playground, isn't it? It's a city playground.
An adult playground.
Yeah. Can I just answer Graham? I'm sure you're right, but
I hate it. I do.
I do spend a lot of time. I don't spend a lot of time in Paddy, but I know a lot of people who drink in Paddy. I've got many friends there. Nobody has ever told me about this. Nobody's ever said, "Oh, you know this guy, Alan. He went off with a underage girl." Never happens. Never.
No.
And I really do know, and I know so many Mama Sans and bosses that I've known. I've known them for 20 years, and they would kill somebody. I told the story last night. And I'll tell it again very quickly. In the Marquee Bar, Soy Macau, the Mama San there was the most lovely lady, always gave, I didn't really know her, but lovely smile every time I went in. It was actually owned by 3 Phalangs. I think 3 Brits, to be honest, before COVID. I'm not quite sure who owns it now, but the Marquee Bar, Soy Macau, near Patia Clang. She used to have her niece, when she came home from school, used to just be a waitress in the bar to earn some, money to pocket money, just like you and I would do paper rounds. And but she was just a 14-year-old, 13-year-old washer up, and it was obvious she was 13, 14. One drunk Phalang just touched her bum. The woman that I really liked, the most smiley Mama San in the world, went berserk. Came out from behind the bar, just told the guy to leave the bar. Adrian, you've seen it. When a Thai woman turns angry, their whole face changes. It is ridiculous how they can change their face from being the happy-go-lucky woman to, if you don't move, I'm going to kill you. I've got meat cleavers and whatever. And the guy, I actually can't remember because I'm an old man. I can't remember what happened. He said, I've still got a drink here. I can't remember whether she poured it on him or poured it down the sink. But,
he's lucky he just didn't get a beating.
They are very family-orientated.
He's probably very lucky.
Children, the family means everything. You know? The family means everything.
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah.
Absolutely,
Dan.
You can read stories. I read stories in the Tiger, because I read the Tiger every day, Steve.
Yeah.
And you read the Tiger, and I know where you're coming from, where they've attacked someone and someone who's done wrong, he's been attacked in the village, and but
the story I've told the story many times. It's quite regular that the uncle comes back from the bar drunk.
In the 90s, early 90s, it was happening in Pattaya a lot.
Wow, I didn't get there till about 98, 99. So you could, I don't know, Dan. You could be right. But certainly all my life there, I've never seen it.
In Pattaya a lot, and they clamped down on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
Shane Gooderson must be Z. He's the only one that calls me P. Sterrin. It's a great name.
I was nearly going to present another story. Just researching that other thing last night, I found this story about it in a bar, right? A guy got into a dispute with the girls and they turned on him. But he was a huge guy, and fully tatted up. He's like some sort of how there's a lot of bikers that have fled Australia and mainly to go and live in Pattaya.
Yeah.
He was a big guy, fully tatted up, a heavy-duty looking guy, and he was flat on his back, unconscious on the bar floor.
Yeah.
One Thai man came up and hit him once, and that was it.
Yeah.
And by the time the police came, that Thai man was gone, and the guy's just out on the ground. But he's this huge, tatted up guy, and I thought, man, that guy, what sort of hits could that guy take in a fight? And his one Thai man took him out.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Like, you know,
Oh, they
like
do
you
that.
say, Adrian, the biker gangs in Pattaya, that's a different story.
Well, they're all being made illegal and being prosecuted in Australia, so they've fled.
Yeah.
They're all living in. A lot of them are living in Pattaya and Phuket.
Yeah, well, you see the German case, don't you, with the German bloke who was found dead in his Mercedes, or in the freezer, not in the Mercedes. They took him out, and then they was taking the freezer down the road in the back of a pickup with the body inside.
Yeah, but how
Oh,
stupid are they?
yeah. Yeah,
How,
I'm not quite sure what's happened now, Dad. I know it was his wife, and and that
had her in the
video was
freezer?
great, wasn't it? They got the body in the freezer, and on a pickup. They got a video of the freezer on the back of a pickup, and there's a guy in the back of the pickup.
Were they taking the body to dump it somewhere? Probably, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is the biker gang?
Oh, and the body was all cut up anyway.
The Mongols, isn't it, Adrian?
There's Mongols, Banditos. There's a dozen outlaw biker gangs that used to be in Australia active.
See, in the UK,
the Thais. Let me just say this: the Thais think we're all soft. They really do. It's a bit like when at the height of the English power, and maybe we actually thought we were tough, and I think we were a few years ago or decades ago. And the Thais still think that. They still think we're really soft because, to be honest, we are. There's only a few people that do really hard man's jobs, where you're working 10, 12 hours a day doing hard work. The Thais, most of them have done that sort of thing.
In the UK, Adrian, the biker gangs seem to have dwindled out. Like, if you see a biker, he stands out like a sore thumb in the UK. It's like, and I can remember going into bars in my area, like, and sat there having a pint and all that sort of stuff, like, and the House Angels were walking, like, or the and the gang of them would walk in. But you don't really
Dan, excuse me, I've got to go. I love this subject because I can add to it, but I've got to go for a pee and get more whiskey. But carry on, mate. I'm just going to mute myself.
Yeah, Adrian, like, you don't really see it nowadays. Like,
No. You don't see it in Australia.
Australia's like, I would imagine there's far more in Australia than there is in the UK, these bikers.
You still see groups of bikers, especially here, like they're riding on the way through and they stop to have a lunch or something, but they're like just old school bikers, like old guy bikers, and they're not like Hell's Angels or Banditos, but they got their Harleys, but they're just like a group of old guys that like to ride. They're not like, they don't have a biker clubhouse where it's all about the drugs, the prostitution, and the stuff that they get up to standover tactics. But it looks funny, don't you think? I'm just laughing, Dan. I've seen them myself, right? In Thailand, in Pattaya, and they're like walking around with their leather biker jackets on, and they're like they've just hopped off, and it's like 40 degrees in the shade. But they're big, heavy-duty dudes. Like, who's going to fuck with them?
Oh, the funny.
Well, Adrian, the average age for a Harley Davidson customer is close to 50.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing a video years ago on YouTube, like, this like biker, this real hard biker, and he was with a lady boy walking down Walking Street, like, and I just it made me chuckle. It did, like,
with a lady boy.
What would his mate say? But she was about 6 foot tall. He was about 5'7", like, and he had he had all the, like you say, the leather jacket on, and he was proper biker, like, and he had this lady boy on his arm.
I mean, look, just in case there's any Hell's Angels listening, they are a serious gang in Australia and America and even in England. They got close to being mafia, and that's why you had to push them down in Australia, because they were running everything, all the horrible stuff, drugs, prostitution, everything. Hell's Angels were involved in it. Look, if there's any Hell's Angels listening, I love you. Actually, one of my best mates, he wasn't Hell's Angel, he was Satan's Slaves, which is what we had in England. Lovely guy. But yeah, no. So look, we are not disrespecting any biker gangs on Zounds. We love you all. You're all good guys, and you're just misjudged. Actually, they actually do a hell of a lot for charity. They do these biker runs for charity and stuff.
Back in the day when they were prevalent around in Australia, I've been you have small interactions. They might be sitting in a bar or something having a beers, and you walk by, but they'll give you a nod and say hello, and if you leave them alone, they leave you alone.
That's it, Adrian. That's what
absolutely.
They'd come in, like one would have one leg or something like that. Like, they'd one would be hardest nails, they'd just come in and just sit at the bar and give you a nod, and you'd be like, yeah, all right, mate.
To an extent, Dan, it becomes a bit of a religion for them.
Well, it's the outlaws. The outlaws of trying to take over. Those are the ones, and those
don't we all admire that sort of fuck society? Society sucks, doesn't it? We all go through shit within society, within government.
What greasy speed takers?
Yeah, riding a fast motorbike with a sexy girl on the back.
One of my favourite movies is that old movie
Easy
with
Rider.
Bono, Sonny Bono, and the other guy. There's two guys, one on a chopper in America, and
Easy Rider.
Easy Rider. Oh yeah, man, is that a classic movie?
It's one of the coolest.
Peter Fonda, and Jack Nicholson was in it in a bit part. Peter Fonda and
Bono, the guy who married Cher.
It wasn't him. He wasn't the other driver. Bonnie. Bonnie and Cher. It wasn't Bonnie. Bonnie was it wasn't.
Even better was American Graffiti. Remember American Graffiti?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good movie too.
With hot rods.
Yeah.
See, there's no CGI back then. Everything was real. I hate these new movies, and they have all this CGI and just false.
I can't watch them. It's not cinematography to me. Cinematography to me is from 1907 until about 2003 or something like that. No more than that. Because, like you say, Adrian, it's that stupidness of that CGI. Do you call it?
Yeah, computer graphics.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, Dan.
What really
I watch movies occasionally. Sorry, let me go first, very quickly.
Sorry, yeah, you go, Steve.
Occasionally I watch videos. I've got a TV. I can get sports, whatever, anywhere in the world. Movies, 3 days of them being released, I can watch them. I watch it, within about 15 minutes. Oh, I know how this is going to end. Fucking boring. The number of movies that I've been watching, and my granddaughter walks in, or my wife walks in and says, "Oh, can we do this?" Yeah, all right. I'll turn this off and I'll look at it later. I never go back. The number of movies I've watched 30 minutes of and thought, oh yeah, I just work it all out. It's not worth it. And when you read critics saying it's a great movie, I mean, there are some great movies. Have you seen Nobody, Dan? I think either Nobody or Mr. Nobody.
I'm not a massive movie watcher.
Oh, watch Nobody. It is brilliant. The great thing about it is it's only an hour and 30 minutes. I don't think any movie should be over 1 hour 30 minutes. That's enough. When you start watching a movie and it's 3 hours long, unbelievable. But no, there are rare gems of good movies that you watch. At the end of it, you go, oh wow, that was a great experience. When I was a kid, I used to go and see movies.
Oh, God almighty.
Every time I walked out of that movie cinema, Dan, I was ecstatic. Oh, that was just so brilliant. And you're on a real high because, let me think, James Bond. I saw James Bond the first time. Goldfinger with the Aston Martin as a 7, 8-year-old kid. Fuck me, it was brilliant. Hard Day's Night, Beatles.
I can remember.
Go on, sorry, I'm getting carried away. I'll shut up for a bit.
I remember in the early 70s, my nan used to say to me and my granddad, like, "Is it bullet or arrows this afternoon?"
Oh, right.
Bullets or arrows after, and we used to sit and watch a movie on a Saturday afternoon, and but now
even if you watch the old
movie I watched,
Dan, even if you watch the old series from that sort of age, the original Hawaii 5-0, Alan was always my favourite. They were always pretty good. The A-Team.
I work with lads and they say to me, like, have you watched this? Have you watched that? I say, no, I haven't watched fuck all.
Yeah, I don't watch many movies either, Dan.
I don't know whether you're the same, Adrian. Like, I don't know if you sit and watch.
Not many movies.
Well, Dan, it's different. You're working every day. I do have enough time to at least find out what movies are relevant at the moment. So, yeah, I probably do watch more.
Dan, I don't think I've been to the cinema to watch a movie at the cinema for probably over 30 years.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same, Adrian. Exactly the same. I think mine is probably near 20 years. So, yeah, the last time I went to the cinema.
Mine's only 7. I took my dad to watch the one about Dunkirk. I think it was actually just called Dunkirk. And it wasn't bad. It was about, because my dad loves all the war stuff. I took him to watch that. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't brilliant, but it was okay. About 7 years for me.
I lost total faith in modern movies when that Pearl Harbor movie came out. Now, I'm a bit of an aircraft buff, I've made a lifetime career with aircraft, but like that CGI of all the the planes, the flying, it was all computer generated, and it was that fake, and obviously fake to me. It was like a cheap computer game. I just couldn't watch it. And it was a disappointment. I enjoyed the Battle of Britain, and that's a couple of decades before Pearl Harbor, but they had like real aircraft. Okay, some reproductions and things, and a bit repetitive with the shoot down scenes, but they were actual. It wasn't computer generated graphics, if you know what I mean. And I enjoyed
how about Reach for the Sky, Adrian?
I'm not familiar with Reach for the Sky. I've heard of it. I might have seen it. I can't remember though.
It's the guy that was shot down, played by John Mills, and apparently in real life he was a bastard. but he's got to be a bastard because what he did was he got shot down, lost both of his legs, and still went up and flew.
Oh, real.
But John
That'd be
Travolta,
tricky.
you're saying that,
You love.
Adrian.
You've got to watch Reach for the Sky, Adrian. It's a classic
John
English
Travolta
film.
one?
Huh?
Is that John Travolta? Because he's just made a new movie.
No. John Mills.
Right.
I'm writing
John
it
Mills.
down.
I was reading about John Travolta, and he just made a new movie. You know, he's a big pilot and into all that.
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of-
He is.
He's
Yep.
made a movie about a guy who is flying his aircraft, and he loses all navigation. All the instruments go down in his aircraft.
Right.
And it's a movie about this guy. And then all of a sudden, like, he spots someone, and he has to follow them. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But Adrian, you got to tell Dan, Qantas, Travolta.
I met
Dan,
John
mate, has probably
Travolta.
never heard.
I met John Travolta. At Qantas, we had like our 80th celebration, 80th year of operations celebrations. Now, Travolta has a 707 painted in the original Qantas colours, and Qantas maintains it for him, supplies all the maintenance for the C707.
Really?
And it's very historic aircraft, the 707 for Qantas, like it was the start of the jet age. And he flew that into Brisbane Airport, and the CEO of Qantas, like that fucking faggot, Alan Joyce, was there. Everyone was there. And Travolta come off the plane. Me and another guy, we like meet at the aircraft. You know, got to like marshal it and chock it and shoot, and then the stairs. Down he comes, you know. So we were there, right there, and met him. You know, he's like, check out him first. He's a good guy, and he does. He's a accredited pilot. Qantas trained him to fly the 747 as well. He's got a 747 pilot's license.
Yeah. I could imagine like you having to get onto the aircraft and repair the what is it, the earplug socket.
Repair his microphone.
Bloody thing.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, Adrian, but I really admired Travolta. He had a big success when he was a young guy, good-looking guy, absolutely great dancer. No matter what you think about it, the Saturday Night Fever and Grease.
How many people can say they've met John Travolta?
Yeah.
It's like Elvis Presley.
Because then he came back into the. He then came back with what was the movie called?
Pulp Fiction.
Yes. Was it Pulp? Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And it's very unusual.
That was massive. That movie was massive.
Yeah. I don't think he's gay at all.
It's quite possible.
We're not so sure, Steve.
But he's not like one of. If he is gay, he's not like an alpha gay. You know, like he's very private about it. If he is,
I think he's very similar to Adrian will remember. I don't think Dan, you're old enough to remember. Probably one of the best looking actors in Hollywood at one time was a guy called Rock Hudson.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
Hudson. Yeah, died of AIDS.
Supremely good looking. He did a few films with Doris Day. Just the most beautiful man you can imagine. Everybody in Hollywood knew he was gay, but he was the heartthrob to so many women.
Didn't he marry that
nobody? Say again?
Did he marry that Welsh girl? What was her name? I can't remember her name, but wasn't she married to Rock Hudson at one stage?
I don't know, Dan.
I think a lot of celebrity gay people do marry the opposite sex just for the normal appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Like
Yeah,
Rock Hudson.
it's the same.
Rock
It's the
Hudson
same, Adrian. I
first.
married a Thai. I married a Thai woman because I'm gay. Really,
You know, Rock
I'm just
Hudson.
joking.
Yeah, but you go back to Rock Hudson, Steve. Like he was the first
Yeah.
famous person to die of HIV.
Yes, that
You know,
Dan,
it was a
you're
massive
absolutely
story.
right. I'd forgotten that. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
Christ, my phone's going ping, ping, ping.
How are you keeping,
Who's
Adrian?
calling
Are
me?
you all right, mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I've moved to North Queensland where it's nice and hot, and yeah, I'm doing okay.
I've seen your shed build videos, and
Yeah, I've
it
had to
looks
put a
good,
shed
mate.
up.
It looks good, mate. The workshop and all that, like, you know, it looks, you know, you're happy,
Yeah.
Adrian.
Yeah, and it's like a project as well. I've got a lot of things I'm doing to improve the place and add value to it, so it's all good. I'm welding up this gate. That's why I've been talking about welding a bit lately, Dan.
Oh, right, okay.
Welding up a metal gate and like a cantilever gate, sliding gate.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm not a welder's bootlace. I've burnt through a 2 kilo pack of welding rods so far, and I'm still can't weld, Dan. It's terrible. Need a
Funny,
technical.
you know.
I totally admire certain people in life. In the airline
Oh,
business, I
definitely.
totally admired sheet metal workers because it's an art. It's almost an art what they do. And welders, professional welders, I totally admire. There's a certain skill involved that normal people just can't replicate.
I work with some welders. I look at some of the welders I work with, Adrian, and they're just off the scale. Like, you know, it's just like, how on earth?
That
You know?
is real skills. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care what people say. It looks simple and it looks easy, but try and do it.
I've just put a base frame together. I've been working on putting a base frame together, like that's made of lean duplex, and it's like 7 meters by 5 meters. That's all it is, and it's like £250,000 worth of material.
Yeah.
So you're talking $500,000 worth of material that I've just put together. Like, you know, I'm 9 mil out of square at the moment, but hopefully when we tack it up and all that, it will pull square. So I need to pull it 4.5 mil.
Did the metal warp from the heat and stuff? Is that
Sorry?
what happened? Did the metal warp because of the welding, like the heat?
Yeah, we haven't welded it up yet. We've only just put it together. These beams are fucking monstrous. They are, like, you know, and it's not super duplex or anything. It's lean duplex. It's all for the Norwegians oil fields, like, you know, and it's I love
Type of stainless steel, right?
it's a type of stainless steel it is, but it's like you know, you got 316 it, and then you go into duplex, super duplex. Well, lean duplex is a bit between super and between duplex and super duplex. Like, you know, it's a bit cheaper, but
So
it's
here's the
like,
problem, Dan. I'm using a stick welder, right, with welding rods.
yeah.
Now I've got a self-darkening hood, right? So
Well, I
I'm
can tell
welding
you what you're
away.
doing wrong already. I can tell you what you're doing wrong already.
I'm using a stick welder.
Yeah, you're not heating the rod up either, are you? You're not. If you where you put your return lead on, what I call a return lead, people call an earth lead. Well, it's not an
Yeah,
earth, it's a return lead.
yeah. I'll put the positive to
Yeah.
ground.
Put a bit of sheet metal on that and just strike the arc the rod onto that to warm the rod first, and then go into it.
Now here's a good tip. I haven't tried that. That sounds very
Yeah,
sensible.
just a bit of sheet metal onto your return lead. Everybody
Yeah.
calls it an earth but it's not the earth lead, because the earth lead comes out the back of the welder into the earth. That's a return lead, it's called, right? Just like clamp on a bit of fucking scrap, bit of metal, right? Arc onto that to warm the fucking rod. Arc it a couple of times to warm the rod, and then go in and do.
I'm using 6013 rods, okay? 2 mil. I've gone to 2.4 mil rods actually.
And remember, drag slag.
Here's the trouble. Under the hood, it looks like a good weld, right? So then you get the chip and hammer out. If it doesn't chip straight off nice, then it's got a problem. There's like these, I think it's called slag inclusions in the weld.
Yeah, you'll get slag inclusions. Yeah, that's a.
It doesn't matter how much I re-weld over that, I can't.
No, you will never get those. You'll never get rid of those until you grind it out. Like you've got to grind
it all off and start again.
Yeah, because you'll have slag inclusion, because that's basically porosity in your weld.
Okay, it's not.
You'll never go until you grind it out. No.
Well, I get to the point, Dan, I just can't do it. And I go, well, it's good enough. Like, it's just like a bunch of nasty tack welds all over the top of each other. I go, well, it's not holding up the hard.
Not as bad as what the ties weld together, Adrian. Come on, mate.
Well, they do that thing with a whole heap of tack welds joined together, don't they?
Yeah.
Ties don't run a bead of weld. They do like tack, 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 tack.
It's like you're staying at a 5-star hotel in like Bangkok, and you look at the welding on the balcony and you think, fuck.
Yeah, I don't think I'll lean on that tonight.
You know?
Oh, Dan, I've done exactly the same. Not that I understand welding, but I've looked at it, oh, fuck. I've said to the granddaughter, don't go near that.
Yeah, don't stand on that.
Can I change the subject slightly? Let me change the subject slightly for only 2 or 3 minutes, because you talking, Dan, about welding reminds me that I had a really good friend. I used to play golf with him twice a week. He was a fabricator welder. It was made redundant. I got to know him really well. He taught the same way as you do, Dan. He was half decent at the job he was doing. He got the opportunity to go and be a caddy for the professional at my golf club, and he shot at it. And I don't know if it worked out with him. That's not the point of my story. I'm wondering a bit. The problem is, you talking about it reminds me, why the hell did I ever lose contact with that man? He was one of my closest friends when I was playing golf. Really nice guy, but I lost contact. It wasn't like, I could lose contact with anybody on YouTube here, because, I'm an argument, forget about him, whatever. Why did I lose? And I'm a bit embarrassed about it. So what I was going to ask you and Adrian is, have you had good friends that you've lost contact with, that you would love to see again, but you don't know why you lost contact with them? Maybe you had problems. I think it was because I had bit of a few problems going on in my life when I was, approaching 40. And I think that was that time. So I think I was just too busy doing other shit to worry about going to play golf with him.
It's the same. Everybody has the same state, Steve. Like, we all have problems in our life.
Yeah.
You lose contacts. You hit the nail on the head. You have a few problems. You're finding yourself in life. And you lose contact with these good people, like, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, isn't it sad though, Dan?
You've done wrong.
Isn't that sad though? It is sad. It really made me think. My mate Ian, just the nicest guy you could meet on this planet. And I think, fuck, why did I ever lose contact with him?
Yeah.
Only because I had other things going on in my life. But in effect, Dan, I didn't have time for him.
Adrian,
It's horrible.
Adrian would tell
Horrible.
you. Adrian, what you go through this? Everybody goes through it, don't they, Adrian?
Yeah, well, a lot of people I worked with, but like other friends, like you lose touch with them, and after like 10 or 15 or 20 years, it's like you really got probably nothing in common anymore. Like, are they really your friends still, or what are they doing in their life? You feel like you might be interrupting.
Adrian, I've met up with a few of my old friends on Facebook, and don't misunderstand. We haven't become best mates again or whatever, but we've had a really good time out for a night, and nostalgia, talking about the old times and whatever. We're a fucking weird people, aren't we? We lose contact with people that we actually care about, and we come on YouTube and talk to fucking idiots. Present excluded, but we come onto YouTube and we get idiots here. But in real life, we've all had real friends, and we've forgotten about them as well. I just find it weird. I hope that you didn't. I hope you didn't think that I was saying you were idiots. I'm just saying that. I don't know what I'm saying. I'll shut up.
Realistically, though, like there's a bunch of people on these YouTube streams, and we've been talking with each other for 4 or 5 years. We're kind of friends, even though we may never have met.
Oh, totally, Adrian. Totally, Adrian. You know, I class you as a mate, Adrian. I've always had respect for you, and you know, we've gone through a few years where we don't really speak. Before, like, we used to speak all the time on 365 and all that sort of stuff, like, you know. But it's like you drift off, and then, like, I was explaining to Gaza Sweden last night, like, you know, I was saying about this genre, like, you know, the problem with this genre is, I was trying to say, like, it's like a circle. There's a circle of certain individuals in the circle, and then other people just web off it. There's like webs off it, but that inner circle is hardcore. It is like
it's pretty
the
hardcore.
doxing and all that. And he said
it's been
this.
Pretty nasty, Dan. It's been pretty nasty.
Yeah. I've got to the point now, Adrian, where I don't really. I'll come in and like I'll lurk and watch, you know, but I don't want to get involved with none of that. Like, you know, that's just like. And it's
you don't delve into that inner circle.
No,
you sort of rotate around the periphery a bit, Dan.
Yeah, that's it.
There's
Adrian.
nothing wrong with that, you know.
You know, and you just like circle around, watch it, come in, have a look, you know, and all that. But that inner circle is just like they're on about the old 365 being toxic, but this inner circle is absolutely toxic to the extreme in my eyes. You know, and there's no need for it. There's no need to dox people. There's no need to continually be on like repeat about people. Certain individuals are on a constant repeat, on a loop about certain other people.
Dan. Dan, as Gaza would say, I'm going to ask you a question. Why are you so fireproof here? Never hear anybody talk bad about you.
Who?
You, Dan. I'm talking to Dan.
Hey.
I never hear anybody talk bad about you.
I know.
You speak your mind.
I don't know how I've got away with it, mate, myself.
I know. That's why do you think you're fireproof?
I
Because
don't know.
we haven't found Dan's alt accounts yet.
I don't know accounts or anything. Like Capio accused me of having all these alt accounts, and I was like, Capio, mate, I use a mobile phone. I haven't got time to go on alt accounts or anything like that. I'm not like computer. I don't sit on a laptop day in day. I'm just fucking me, mate. I just fucking. It's normal. What you see is what you get. If you come and meet me,
Dan, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think if you're totally honest on here, it's really hard for people to do anything against you. I think Trevor, Jazzy, very similar. It's very hard to come at people if they are very honest and just speak honestly.
yeah,
But I think you've still got away with fucking murder. And nobody ever says, that fucking cunt Dan said this to me. Nobody ever goes at you.
Normally it's when you're drunk and you just think like, right, I'm gonna do a bit of trolling and have a laugh now, like but nothing's malicious.
Maybe that's what. Maybe look, I understand. Occasionally you come on for an argument.
Yeah, but it's not malicious,
and that's good.
It's just
no.
Because.
But what I don't understand is what happens normally is any character on here, anybody that voices opinions, the other side, it's a horrible way to say, but let me put it another way. The cunts on the other side get scared because you're getting more leverage than they have. And they want to be more in power. They don't want to hear your voice. So they try to shut it down. And although they say free speech, no, they don't want free speech. They want us all off. I went on a channel last night. Guy I like. All I said was, hello. I'll tell you what channel it was. Hello, Banksy. And I was banned from the stream. You get away with it, and I'm not quite sure how you fucking get away with it, you cunt. I'm joking.
Like, there's certain streams I go on, like, and I get timed out after the first comment, but I chuckle at it.
Really?
I know the moderators can read what I've just said, like, So I chuckle at it, and there's certain people, certain channels that I can go onto, and I'll get timed out within an instant. I can go on their panel, and in an instant they'll mute me, and I'm talking to myself.
All right. Okay.
But that's there's certain ones like but I just like chuckle about it. You don't get irate about it. You can't get irate about it and start losing sleep over it because
maybe Dan, maybe because you have the attitude is why nobody bothers to have a go at you.
Yeah.
Because they know they're not going to get a rise from you. You're only going to laugh at them. You're right. I confess, occasionally I take all of this too seriously.
You did yesterday, Steve.
Yes, absolute great example, Dan. I did, of course I did, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't. It doesn't matter how much you think this is your adopted country and everything like that. But the poor lad was trying to put what was his name, Robin or Rob?
Robert
put a point across, and you had a few beers and was like,
I wouldn't let him speak. Yeah, you're right, Dan. You're right. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologise to me, mate. Don't apologise to me, mate.
No, I apologise to Robert. But you're Dan. I know you when you chose a career path, you went for welding. Why didn't you go for psychiatry? You're very good at working people out. You could have if your parents had been richer, they'd have sent you to better schools. You would have been a great psychiatrist.
Well, I decided to join the infantry at 16.
All right.
I was a roadman in Northern Ireland by the age of 18.
Fuck me.
That says it all, doesn't it?
Mm.
I was questioning
Dan, I hope you understand.
At the age of 18. So,
Dan,
yeah.
I hope you understand. I was trying to pay you.
No, I know what
you are very good at working people out.
What you're trying to say, and I totally understand. Adrian said
the very first fight we had was because I was defending Avery, and you'd sussed Avery out about 20 years before I did.
Mm.
And I was defending him and said, "No, come on, Dan, don't pick on him." And you said, "No, he's bullshitting. It's all bollocks." You are incredibly good at working out people's minds very quickly. You should have been a psychiatrist, Dan. Fuck the welding. Go back to school.
Adrian said this to me years ago. Adrian said to me about 5 years ago when we was on 365, he's like, when Jalangela starts questioning, he's like, MI5. And I always remember Adrian. And the thing is, with this YouTube, you learn from the best. It's like when I first come on here, I was listening to Adrian, Steve Clark, and what's his name, Mike Sheff. They were all fucking heavy hitters within the genre, and I learned. And you listen to them, and you talk to them, and all that, and then you get to a point like Adrian, Adrian's a heavy hitter. Banana King is a heavy hitter in the genre. He'll be heavier than me for years and years to come, and you listen to him, and you listen to what
I don't think so, Dan. I don't think so. I just like to sometimes step in to correct
a respected person. I mean, a very respected. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of things in this genre and I don't say a lot about. I've kept quiet. But when I see people talking about certain things and they're just wrong, I like to sometimes step in to correct and factualise the situations.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when there's a dodgy meat raffle going on.
Well, that's my worst offence, Dan, is occasionally having a couple of pots too many and being involved with these streams. That's my main offence.
But Steve, what I'm trying to say,
I do exactly the same, Adrian. But this is a fucking virtual bar.
Of course it is a virtual bar. I'm going to go get some beers now, so just hang with me. I'll be 2 minutes.
There's no point in it unless we have an organised stuff about we're going to talk about this subject and that subject. We're just three guys talking in a bar about life. This is exactly what I do in real life, Adrian. Absolutely. Yeah. And of course I have a beer. I rarely come on YouTube unless I've had a beer. Because otherwise I'm doing other stuff. Doing normal life. This is my relaxing time to come on, have a chat, imagine, and it is great. I mean, I'm all for virtual reality. I'd love it if I've got glasses on and we're actually in a bar together and we're all looking at each other. It'd be fucking brilliant.
Hey, let's just say there's 50, 60, maybe 70 people that regularly watch all these different streams in this genre of the both sides. Well, I think the majority of them, Steve, that get entertainment out of this drama, and the worse the fights are and the worse the doxing is, it's just like a laugh and entertainment for them. And it's only nasty if you're if you're in the middle of it, right? It can be very
Yep.
very emotive, like emotional, and
Yeah.
when you're
Honestly,
the facilitator.
I'll say this because Dan's gone. Dan has absolutely the right attitude to all of this shit.
Well, he never pushed himself right to the center of it. He's like
Oh no,
on the
I've
edge.
never seen Dan. I've never seen Dan back down from any argument. He
And you
goes on
don't see
whatever stream he
Dan,
wants.
but you don't see Dan. He's not nasty. Like, he's not in there threatening to, come and rape your wife, or dox your address or something. Dan's not doing
Mm.
that. So he's not a bad character in the genre.
Okay, while Dan's away, can I try my OBS for a second
Go for it. Yep.
and just see if this is working?
You're trying to get that audio going with it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Let me just see what I've got tuned up. Browse. What do you want? Let's go for Alex Jones. I love this. Okay. There we go.
No audio. I use a similar program, Steve. It's called vMix, a video mixer. And
Can you hear me? Can you hear the audio, Adrian?
No, okay. You can't hear the video. Like,
You still can't hear the audio.
we can hear you right now. We can hear your microphone, but we can't hear what you're playing.
Oh,
yes.
fuck!
That's OBS, that is.
Yeah, Steve's trying to get to grips with OBS. He can't get the audio to work when he plays something.
Fuck me! You can't hear anything.
No. Yeah, it's kind of problematic.
Yeah,
look. When you do, can you hear that audio at your computer, Steve, while it's playing?
Oh yeah, perfect. I don't understand why nobody else can hear it. And if I record it, Adrian, if I set it up just to record it, comes through perfectly. I'm not sure why it doesn't get through from me to you.
Can I say one thing, please?
Of course.
Right. Aztec, come on and explain yourself, mate. If you want to explain yourself, mate, I'm going to be here. Explain yourself about exploitation.
That's just winding you up there, Dan.
If you haven't got it in you, mate, don't come on here. But otherwise, don't put that sort of thing in the comments section, Aztec.
That's
exploitation.
That's his dry humour there, right there. He's bantering, Dan. He's bantering there. Aussies don't really know banter, Dan. It doesn't work out like, it's not like English banter. That's what I really believe. We don't have like a banter as such. We have like piss taken as more the Aussie way. Yeah, we still can't hear Steve.
What? No, I'm still here. I stopped. I stopped the I stopped the video.
That's in the
It is
Philippines,
frustrating.
right? That motorbike with all the family on it. That'll be the Philippines.
I don't know. It was sent to me from a buddy in Thailand, but yeah, it could be.
Oh, I want to correct something from last night, Steve. Remember, I went through like this world. What do you call it? Geographic of it had all the world's countries with the age of consent for children, right?
Here
And
I am.
it said the Philippines and Niger were 12 years old, and I said that. That's what the world infographic told me. And I checked that today. I rechecked it, and actually, they just changed their age of consent in the Philippines to 16, like last year. So there you go. So I just want to correct that. Which good on them. 16 is the same as America, England, Australia, most of the Western world, and the Philippines bumping that up to 16. Big ups to them. Because 12 was the lowest in the world. It was ridiculous.
It's a shitty topic, Adrian.
I know it is.
I heard you. Yeah, I heard just talking yesterday, and you were talking about the Vatican being 12. You know what's funny about that is that's for girls. There is no limit for boys. Boys isn't considered relations.
All right.
That was me that said that. Yeah,
I didn't want to hear that.
They have changed it, I think, recently. But yeah, I didn't know what you just said. That it was 12 for girls and no age for boys. Yeah.
No age for boys. Yeah. Which is kind of funny.
Aztec. Should we talk about exploitation then?
Oh, Dan, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I only just read it now, but it was what you were talking about earlier.
If someone comes up to me and my missus, right, and they want to borrow money, and we take over their rice field, right, and they want to borrow 60,000 baht, we'll lend them 60,000 baht, right? Do you know how much it cost me to fucking fertilize that fucking ground?
Yeah, Dan, I wasn't having a go. It was Mr. Perrin was saying that nobody gets on your back.
I lend them 60,000 baht, right? It's going to cost me 10,000 baht to fertilize their land. I will make about 2,000 baht off that fucking rice field per year, whilst they're holding on to 60,000 baht of mine. Right?
Yeah, I wasn't having a go, Dan. I wasn't having a go.
No, I'm not saying you're having a go. But a lot of people don't realise the costs involved of doing this and helping these people out in the village. And we help people out in the village. If you come to me in the village, or my missus is doing it all the time, and I don't even fucking realise she's doing it. And then she'll say, "Oh yeah." And I'm like, Chow Ying, you've got to tell me that we're doing it. I've had years of it, mate. Years of it.
People don't understand.
I don't exploit anybody. I don't make no money off anybody.
That's why I was having a laugh. Dan says no one has a go at you. And I'm like, well, hang on. He exploits Thai people, fucking steals their land, rents it back to them.
Dan,
I was just having a laugh.
Dan and Steve and myself know how this works. Buying, selling and lending money in Thailand. And it's quite normal, but there's another guy, a vlogger, everyone would know who it is. I remember his missus, like the children always have a plot of land gifted to them from their parents. And a piece of land next door to it became available. The people needed money or something, but this guy bought their block of land next to his, that he's like his missus's land, and they bought. He doesn't buy anything. Of course, it's his missus. You can't own land, but his missus bought this plot of land, like 2 or 4 rye, like a couple of acres, next door, for like I think 50,000 baht or something. Like it sounds like not very much money. And then everyone blew up on him for months about he's so disrespecting. He's look at him robbing the poor Thai people and
taking
exploiting
advantage.
them.
Yeah.
And but that's like all that land's worth. It's like 50,000 baht a rye or something.
Yeah.
Rice. It's basically rice paddy land, right? But it's on a road. It's got power. You can build on it if you fill it first, like build the land up. But like they went on and on, but they don't know what land's really quite cheap compared to land in the West.
You see, Aztec, it costs you fucking more to lend them fucking money than what it does to not lend them money.
Oh, Dan, they never ever lend money. They never ever lend money to anyone unless there's like a chinote, like you have to hand over your a deed of.
If I don't get a good rice harvest, I'm not going to make the money back. Do you know what I mean? There's no exploitation. My missus is in fully control of it all. She lends the money out. She deals with it over there. Like, she'll say, right, you go to my missus and you say to my missus, can I borrow 40,000 baht? My missus will say, right, what have you got? And they'll say, right, we got 3 rye. She'll say, okay, we'll farm that rye for the next year. And it cost me an arm and a leg. She don't think, she'll do it because my missus don't realise that I'm paying for the fucking fertiliser and the harvesting of it, the harvester. And where the harvester can't get to, you got to pick it by hand, and you're paying them 300 baht a day to pick it by hand. There's a lot of fucking. It's not like you're making money, mate. It's looking after each other. I'll make the same money back. Well, I will get my money back because otherwise you've lost your land. But I will get.
If they pay the money
like
back,
a banking system, Aztec. It's just like a bank. It's a simplified banking system.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's a mutual agreement as well.
Dan. Yeah, exactly.
So
Gamnam can get involved. Gamnam can get involved when it gets really heavy, and we're starting to lend out a lot of money. Gamnam will get involved, and he will write it up on a piece of paper. Gamnam will.
Still can't hear you,
Adrian. So
you've probably got like a private loan agreement with them too, like that they'll pay back the money and
well, that's where Gamnam gets involved. Gamnam
have you ever
right? This is it. That's the agreement.
That's 4 years ago or something. You got that land, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
when did that loan thing? Like your missus lent them money and in return for holding the land.
Oh, she's done it more times than that, Banana King.
Yeah, but that one's like about 4 years ago that we're talking about, right? 4 or 5 years.
Right. Okay.
How long have you had that land there, Dan? From the loan agreement.
Oh, she paid back.
Oh, they paid back. Okay.
She paid back, and she paid back about. It was about a year ago. She paid it back.
Have you ever had to repay? Have you ever had to take it off from Dan?
What?
Land.
No, never.
If they don't pay the money back.
No. She just rolled up with the one day and said to my missus, "There's 40,000 baht." My missus was like, "Oh yeah, brilliant, excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you." And Auntie said, "Thank you very much for looking after us," and that's it, mate. My missus deals with all that, mate. It's me that's paying for the fertilizer. It's me that's paying for the harvester. You know, my missus deals with it. If she wants to, like, if they want to come up and say, like, I need 50,000 baht, my missus will give them 50,000 baht in the village. She will give them, and she will say, I take over your farm for the next, until you can pay me that 50,000 baht back. And they agree. It's Buddhism, mate.
And
it's
she holds like the title of
Buddhism. Like, everybody thinks it's like,
she'll hold like the title deed.
We don't.
As well.
No interest. There's no interest. You borrow 50,000 baht off me. I expect 50,000 baht back.
Yeah, it's not like usury. I was watching
we're not loan sharking or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, you come to me and you want, or my missus, you go to my missus and you say to my missus, I want 60,000 baht. My missus will say, what do you got? Well, we got 5 rai. Right, I'll farm that 5 rai until you give me the 60,000 baht back.
So you would never repo the property. You would just basically, it's yours to work until they've got the money back. Yeah, all right.
Exactly.
It's not even like you're putting them in a detrimental situation, is it?
No, exactly. We don't go to them and say to them, we want 10,000 baht this month. We don't say anything until you give us the money back. We just farm the land. And it cost me a fucking fortune in fertilizer, especially now the Ukrainian-Russian situation. You know, people don't realise that. So I've had to say to my missus, calm yourself down. We know we want to look after people, but calm it back a little bit. What do you think? My missus goes round the door and says, like, right, I want 1,000 baht a day off you. No way, Jose. It's nothing like that. This is Khmer dealing, and this is how the Khmers look after each other.
Thai people are not really well known for repaying loans, to be honest. If you lend money to a Thai, like especially in the countryside, don't really expect to ever see it
I've
again.
had to say to my missus, like I said, the rice, you know, if you want a good rice harvest, you've got to start putting that fertilizer down twice, right? Fortunately, this year we've had a bumper harvest of rice. It's been brilliant this year. But next year, I don't think it's going to be as good. You know, so we put one purchase of fertilizer down this year. Next year is going to be fucking shit. It's going to be, this is global warming. You know, next year is going to be fucking crap. And I know that already, because they're already talking about droughts in Thailand and all that. Fortunately, they might get away with it. But it's like that. I say to the missus, we are not farming any more land at the moment. Just hold back on it.
I think
if they want to borrow money off you, and my missus deals with it. If they want to borrow money off you, they borrow money off you. You know, this is what my missus is like. Like, you know, if someone comes up to my missus and said, "Can I borrow 2,000 baht?" my missus will lend them 2,000 baht.
This is rural Thailand, and that's how it works.
Exactly, Adrian. It's rural Thailand. Like, you know, they come across, you know, hard times.
No bank or any traditional loan provider will give them any money. So they're left with garnering it from private people, and they're going to want some security over that loan.
Exactly.
Dan, my wife is not as nice as your wife. And obviously they know that she has a Falang husband that has a little bit of money. She gets asked for money all the time, and she says no every time.
Yeah.
She's got a black heart.
Yeah, but like Steve, like the shop across the road, like, you know, she lives in the crossroads, my missus does, of the village, and the shop across the road,
Yeah.
the Indians are there because she's borrowed off the Indians.
Right.
And the Indians will come across to my missus when she's got the Brannahan open, and they'll be like that. Do you want to borrow some money off us? And my missus is like, no, I don't want to borrow no money off. You know?
Yeah.
But they've got control of the shop across in a rural village. That's intense. That's intense. Because once those Indians are lending you money, especially in Thailand, you're in the fucking shit. And you know that, Steve.
Well, no. Oh shit! I just played a bad shot then. No, we've never got involved with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but you can see it. I've seen it going on.
Yeah, I really haven't. No, I've just never. No, I've never. I've been with my wife for 20+ years, and I've always had a little bit of money, so she's never really had to gamble.
Yeah.
Or sort of borrow money. I'll tell you a story that will get me clipped or whatever. Thais love gambling.
Oh,
playing for cards.
Evil gamblers. Evil.
Oh, they love it because they think if they've been to the temple 10 times in the last
they got good luck.
They're guaranteed to get good luck, so they're going to win. And they all do it, but gambling is totally illegal in Thailand. Oh, let me just play this shot because I'm in trouble here. I'm going to lose this if I don't play. And the guy I'm playing is 2 tiers above me in the game. So hold on a minute.
We're still not getting any sound from that, Steve.
No, there's no sound on it. It's only me. This is just a. You can see me playing golf though, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
okay.
Clear.
That's all right.
You're kind of on full screen. That's okay.
Well, look, nobody's doing anything better than my golf, so I'm cool with it.
No. Okay, go on.
It's an action-packed game, isn't
it? He loves the golf. He's a golfer.
It's a fucking brilliant game, Az. Fucking brilliant.
I was watching the golf today. I was watching the golf today down at the pub for lunchtime, Steve. There was some golf tournament going on. I like watching the women's golf. They've been on recently too, like if some women's PGA or some thing. There's some fucking hot girls playing the golf.
What did Churchill say? What did Churchill say? What did Churchill say about
I shall
golf?
return. Oh no, that's the American.
No, he said it's a waste of a good walk. Churchill said.
Yes, you're right, Dan. Yeah.
And it's
playing
right.
Golf is a waste of a good walk.
Shit, take it off big screen because I ain't staying on here if you're gonna put fucking shitty computerized golf on.
All right, Dan. Hold on 1 minute.
We're having a conversation here, like, and you want to put shitty computerized golf on.
You're hogging the screen. You're hogging the screen, Mr. Perry.
All right. Just give me 2 minutes. Let me just finish this hole. This is the last hole. Let me just finish this. This guy's going to beat me.
Right.
It's not
Okay.
interrupting
I'm
the
off.
conversation because there's no audio.
Yeah. So what are you doing, Dan? I don't know why you're angry with me.
He just wants to
Fucking
be back on
lunatic.
the screen. That's all.
And he wants to see his avatar on the stream.
Yeah, that's right.
Unless he can see his avatar, he's not relevant. All right. Hold on.
We'll go back
8,
to the 4
10,
squares. Go back to the 4 squares
10,
like that,
11.
and you can still do the golf in the 4
Oh, now
squares.
look.
Look.
Now look.
All right. 8, 9, 10, 11.
Now Dan will be back. Yeah.
Dan hasn't left, has he?
Yeah, he left. He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy with the golf. There's this beady eye says.
Dan, stop being a child.
Beady eye says Banana King said they went on and on about it. Who is they? I've never heard anybody mention. Oh, they definitely did. But we're not gonna delve into the drama, but you know who I'm talking about, obviously, Beady Eye, and you know, half of the pool, of the dead pool, totally takes any criticisms they can. Often, I think, justly so. But like they heavily criticised that land purchase price that he spited the Thai people, he exploited them. Should have paid them a fair amount, but what they paid was a fair amount. That's the going price for like rice paddy land. And the people were down and out. They had to sell their land. So fucking what? He bought us right next to his missus's land as well, so it was ideal. Big ups. Yeah, but we're not going to say who, but well, it's more than one person. It's a whole group of people heavily attacked a guy over that land deal. Like, if I can remember it happened. You don't fucking dream this shit up, do you? I certainly don't.
Well, I'd just like to say, gentlemen, regardless of how boring you think it was, I just won it. And I've got 18,000 more worthless coins. And that guy I played was a champion, 2 tiers above my level.
Wow.
And I'm talking to you at the same time, and I still look. There's a scorecard here. I'll leave that up for a bit. We both had birdies on the first, the second par, but when it came down to tie break, I got him.
Have you Googled just? Is it very accurate? Those the courses you're playing at?
Oh, incredibly accurate. I can watch professional golf, and it's exactly the same.
Okay.
They are really good at it, and they pay money from the courses.
Yeah,
if I was talking about
it's called Young 46. I think he earns 200 grand a year from playing this game.
What? How the hell do you earn money playing the game, for crying out loud?
Because this is a pay to win game. You can play it reasonably well without investing any money into it, but as you grow through the tiers, you have to invest money because there are some holes that are just impossible. You can't drive off the tee with the cheap clubs you're given for free without hitting the rough. So now, don't misunderstand me. In the 15 years I've been playing this, maybe 10 years. 10 years for this game, I've invested £100 into it, and I play it all the time. So it's good value for money. But yeah, of course, the top guys earn money doing it. Same with all these games. Aztec, you're a young man. You know this. Gamers earn a
yeah.
fortune.
I mean, it was World of Warcraft back when I was playing a game. That was years ago now.
They earn a fortune because people follow them. But right,
Through
let's
their
get rid of that.
YouTubes and they're making their money on YouTube and stuff, are they?
Well,
What
no,
do you
What's the
actually
you
game?
pay.
What's the game?
golf? He's talking about the golf. The golf he's
Is
playing.
that like a live online game, like on a PC, or is it a PlayStation?
Yeah, what you just witnessed was a real life game, and I just beat a fucking champion. There's only one more tier above him, which is tour champion.
You're going to be
I'm
making
a
money out of
measly
these
legend.
games? You're going to be making money out of
No,
playing these games?
no, not at all. You've got to be far, far better than I am. And it's a great way to explain sports. I am pretty damn good at this game. I can beat these champion guys, but if you go to a competition, they have better clubs than I do. They put more money into it than I do, and they've spent more time. I mean, the guy that I love is a guy called Young 46. Really laid back English guy. He's got an on-screen ruler that he puts over the shot he's going to take that automatically works out what he's going to be doing. Because this game is just really about mathematics. How quickly you can work out the wind direction, how much it's going to affect it, the length. It's all mathematics, and at the same time, hitting the swing meter on the ding. But it's mathematics and good reactions. That's all.
Right.
And my mathematics is pretty good.
Do a lot of golfers?
My
Hey Steve, do a lot of golfers take like a rangefinder with them, like a little laser rangefinder or something? They're quite pocket sized. You just look through it and it gives you like the distance.
in real life, Adrian, I haven't played golf for 30 years.
Oh shit! I thought
No,
you'd pack up your
25
golf.
years. I had one round in Pattaya in the hut in the sun and the heat. I thought this is not for me. But no, in England, I haven't had a golf game for 35 years. 35 years.
I thought you
So
were
I don't
packing
know.
up.
Maybe that.
I thought you were packing up your golf clubs like once a month to go and play.
No,
What, in Thailand?
no,
Nah.
he's talking about this game. This game is serious business, by the sound of it.
Look, BDI
This game,
what I'm talking about. Before.
this computer game, I play every day, at least an hour or two. It's really relaxing. Listen to the news as I'm playing it. I love it, and it's great education. It's so good, Aztec. You actually learn how professional golfers really play the game. If you're an amateur, all you do is just aim for the hole. As a professional, you think, no, the risks of aiming for the hole are too high. I'll aim to the center of the green. If it goes wrong, I'm still close. I'll be okay. It's just beautiful. I love the game of golf, no question about it. And that game I just showed you really shows you. It's just brilliant. It's so real.
I'll make a confession.
Spoon. Let's welcome Spoon. Lots of people criticize
I'll make
him,
a confession. I'll make a confession, Steve. Like back in probably the early '90s, I had a golf game too. It was called, I think, Links.
All right.
Like it was back in the days when there was like an XT computer or something. So it was that type of graphics. It wasn't very responsive, but it was a decent game. Links, quite fun to play the golf.
Right.
Then I might have moved on to.
Oh, let me show. No, the chat is going wild. Video. You're absolutely right. But I never said I was playing it for money. I just love the game. All I was trying to say to Adrian was, there are guys that play this game just like guys that play most games. If they're really good at it, they earn big money from doing it.
I'm surprised, Steve, you're not out playing golf more often, to be honest.
Well, there's a golf course. My nearest golf course is 40 minutes away. And golf, there's two reasons for it. Number one, golf is very expensive in Thailand comparatively. It's roughly the same price as you'd pay in England or America or whatever. You know, where everything else in Thailand is cheaper, golf is at least the same price. And I haven't got any golfing friends here. And it's fucking hot here most of the day.
So just play 9 rounds of golf. Just play 9 holes. Have half a dozen
Yeah,
beers
but
while you're walking
still
around.
out.
And you drink half a dozen beers while you're going around.
I
and
know
that's
people
a great
do.
day.
Maybe you're right, Adrian. I should try it. But I did it once.
That's what they do here in Queensland, Steve. It's like the golf bag, the 6-pack of beers in the esky, and go around the golf course. It's just as hot as Thailand. The sun's fucking more burning. Like,
I did try it and I did enjoy it. I played. We had a gang of people from Paddy. This is when I was first here. I had a gang of friends, and we had a game just outside the patio.
Yeah. Did they have the hot? Did they have the hot golf caddy girls? Did they have them hot golf caddy girls?
No, we didn't have that.
No,
So maybe that. And also, I was worried whenever I ended up in the rough, which was fairly often, that how many fucking snakes are in here when I'm playing my shot. So that wasn't very good. I hadn't played for a long time. Golf is a game you have to play all the time, like most sports. And look, let's shut up about golf. I'm sorry I played it, but I am pleased that at least, and let's face it, Adrian, we both know how annoying I am. I'm probably going to be playing games most days on Zounds, just to piss people off because. But I've got to work out how this OBS works to
I just
play the sound. It's horrible.
I just imagine you'd be playing more golf in real life if you love it so much.
Yeah, I should be.
Anyhow, it's not.
But I was a frustrated golfer in that I was half good, but not very rational and sort of lost my temper too much.
Yeah.
Throw the clubs in the lake. That sort of player.
Being a computer-generated thing, I wouldn't trust it either, Steve. Like, they're likely to have it rigged somehow.
Oh no, that golf game is so accurate. Honestly, you can watch the Open at St Andrews and watch it on my game, and everything is identical. What they do is the cheap clubs have a bit more randomness out of them. So you hit a perfect shot and it goes off to the right because they're cheap clubs. They're not accurate. You have to pay more money to make it's a play to win game. Like most of these games are. No, there's no point in having a game unless you're making money out of it.
Yeah, the space adventure games, they're the same. Like you pay money to get like better spaceships or something.
Yeah.
Different weapons, like more advanced weapons, so you have to pay, right? Do you pay with a PayPal or how do you pay them?
I used to use PayPal, but somehow, because I'm in Thailand, my PayPal has died. So I just use my bank card. Yeah. But honestly, Adrian, in 10 years, I doubt if I've spent £100 on it.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
Because I win some competitions I win, so I get free balls. The balls are expensive, and I've gone.
You just said you won 50,000 credits or something for winning that game. Is that
They're worthless.
This guy
they're
who's
worthless.
made $500,000 out of it, like, have they actually?
No,
given him the money?
the coins I earn then are absolutely worthless. You can buy a better T-shirt with it, or a better hat, or something like that. But in effect, they're worthless. Occasionally, I've won a few competitions, and you actually get a little bit of cash back. Minimal, if I put £50 into the game, £100 in the game, I've probably won back £5 over 10 years. If you follow me, you even and that is like from winning 2 competitions, being very lucky and winning a couple of big competitions. I've still only won £10. The guys at the top of the thing win competitions. They birdie most holes. It's just they take the game above what I do. Look, let's stop. I'm sure everybody's bored with it. I'm going to go for a pee, and I'll be back in a minute. Mute myself because I keep peeing online.
Yeah, you still there, BDI? I don't know who you are, but the person was Tom. Tom, everyone knows Tom. That was the person. Heavily attacked. I'll stand by that. What's up, Spoon? Spoon's there. Good evening. And as knows a bit about golf. He's a golfer. I was never really a golfer, but several of the people I'm associated with that go and play golf, they treat it real serious, like as a sport, like, okay, it's obviously a lot of skill in hitting the ball close to the tee, right? Or getting a hole in one even. It'd be enormous skill, but also an enormous amount of fucking luck involved with golf. I've always maintained that, like, it does revolve a lot around luck. You have a lucky shot. They're the only ones that are good. All the rest, normal shots, are all fucking bad. And a really good shot, I go, oh, that was like a lucky shot. Yeah, that's right. And these guys used to treat it like it was like a sport, like a real exercise, going and playing golf. Like, what the fuck? They're going around in a golf buggy, drinking beer, hop out, smack the ball, and get back in the golf buggy. Like that's like hard fucking exercise for them. Golfers, they're a funny breed of people. Sorry to say. But they're fanatical with golf and love it to death, and treat it very fucking seriously.
Let me get back in here. I was listening to you, Adrian.
I've upset all the golfers now. I've upset the whole fucking lot of them.
Yeah. Right, can you hear me? Right, let me explain why golf is so fucking popular. There are very few games that you can get out and play when you're 70 or 80 years old. Mm-hmm. Golf is one of them that you can go out and play. If you've got a clue what you're doing, you can beat the 18-year-old whippersnapper. That's why people do it, and it is. I mean, I don't know. I've been to one course in the UK where they have buggies, St Melian, owned by a couple of brothers, St Melian in Cornwall.
Really? Every
Most
golf
English
course, every
courses,
golf course I've ever seen has got golf buggies.
not in England. No, very, very rare. Very rare. Most golf courses are just you walk around. So you're walking about 5,000 meters to do a course, 5,000 yards. Sorry, maybe 6,000 yards, which is what 2.5, 3 miles. I've done that twice in a day, so I play 2 rounds in a day. It's a fair old walk. But the joy of it is, Adrian, that if I box a man of 20, same weight as me, he's going to kill me. If I play golf with him, or pool, snooker, it's very similar. Darts, very similar. I've got half a chance. That's why people play it. And the other great thing about it is
You like
that
darts?
occasionally in golf, real life golf, you hit the perfect shot. Your timing was right, everything about it was right, and it's not luck. Yeah, it is, but it's not. It's just that it all comes together in that second moment or whatever, and you think you're Jack Nicklaus out there. You play the perfect shot. Now it rarely happens, but that's what it's all about. That's why it's so good. There's no sports where you can play half decently. I know. I'll stop because I'm lost.
I'm laughing at
I forgot where I knew it was going. I started thinking about snooker then.
I'm laughing at the chat, Steve. Have you seen all the games they're coming up with that you could be playing? Okay, I'll read them out.
No, I wasn't
There's
looking.
chess. This is what they got, right? They got chess,
All right.
and poker, billiards, darts,
Oh, fuck.
2-up, Italian marbles, checkers, conkers,
Yep.
Scrabble, shooting, lawn bowls, lawn darts, and Bocky, or Bosch, whatever it is, fishing.
Adrian, don't you just love the chat? It puts you to rights, doesn't it? Straight away. I come out with a random statement, which was obviously total bollocks, and they all say, "What? There's no other game, Steve?" Well, here we are. Here's a list of 20 fucking games that an old man can do. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to apologise to the chat. The chat is right. Perrin's wrong. There you go. That was brilliant. Thank you, chat. It was. That was good. I've never seen chat react so well and be so right.
Steve, you know how boring the golf they said it was? Like Jalungela and Az left with the golf, but like there's 68 people watching, so it must be slightly popular.
I would suspect there's probably not that many, Adrian, but who cares?
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
But look, if Dan and Az are still watching, I didn't mean to bore you. Look, what's the difference between what you've got now, which is just 2 amateurs, and my golf? It's exactly the fucking same. Nobody's got their look. If somebody opens their stream or whatever, I'll do that anyway. I don't know why. Look, and I was talking as I was playing golf, which is bloody difficult. Dan, if you're listening, no, I think Dan's found a more combative channel to go and have a yak on. We were all being too nice to him here, and Dan only comes here for a fight.
I got no clue if anyone else is streaming or something. Like we were streaming. Actually, we weren't. Gaza Sweden was, and I think was it during my stream last night that I started? I don't know, but like someone come along and said, "Oh, I was going to start my stream. I'll wait until you finish," and I knew we weren't going to be finished for hours. So what can you do? Keep going. Keep going. I was looking for the picture of me and John Travolta together. I can't find it. What else is happening in Thailand, Steve? What's the weather's cooking, isn't it? It should be the cool season, no? Would have thought it's a cool season. Heard someone.
Sorry, my internet is been fragile for about the last month. If it doesn't,
dropped out.
I'm going to cancel it. It's been great for a while, but now every 30 minutes or so it cuts out. Only cuts out for 30 seconds, but it cuts out. So I didn't hear what you said. Can you remember?
Have you got a fiber optic to your internet router?
Fiber into the house. Yeah.
Fucking hell, that shouldn't cut out at all.
No, I don't know what it is. It's better if I've got a really good data plan that I use for my phone, for the car, for Google Maps and music in the car. My internet is actually better if I use that data stuff and use that as a hotspot. But you know what it's like, I keep saying I'm going to cancel the internet. The internet costs me, that's the problem as well, it's only 800 baht a month, which is, what, £15? 25 Oz dollars. It's hardly worth worrying about. But my phone stuff costs me. My phone internet is 159 baht a month. That's unlimited data, as fast as I need it for YouTube, and I can hotspot my computer off it when the internet goes down. I just think, oh fuck it, I'm not going to bother with the cable anymore. And I've tested it on Johnny's quiz. I test how quick the internet is. So I've got my computer connected to the Wi-Fi here, and I put my phone onto the data. My phone is generally quicker than the internet. The data coming through to the phone, YouTube, is quicker than comes through to my computer through the Wi-Fi, through the cable stuff. It's all a fucking con, John. It's all a fucking con, Adrian. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I've got G. What's it called? G. Let me just see what it's called. Let me just pull it up just so we can see. 2.4G. I'm running off now because the 5G died. There is no difference that I can see between the 5G and 2.4G. In fact,
2.4 is good enough for what you're doing.
On most things, 2.4 seems to be more reliable than the 5G.
Yeah.
I do go on I am a sad man. I rant about stuff. It's just what a 66-year-old man does. You just turn in, when you get to 66, you bring up any subject, Johnny, and I have a rant about it. It's like, that's the gift God gives you when you get above 60. Give me a subject, I'll have a fucking rant about it, and I'll tell you where you're wrong.
Our our thing was also tied in with the TV, like 60 different TV channels or something. That TOT, the original Thai telephone company, the Telephone
Yeah,
Authority,
yeah.
Telecommunications of Thailand, or whatever the fuck, TOT.
Oh, yeah.
That was internet, was like a fiber optic right into the router, and where the TV was in the middle of the house. That worked brilliantly, man. You couldn't beat
Yeah,
that speed.
I don't think they're even going anymore, Adrian. We looked at
Yeah,
when I had my first house, and I wanted internet into the first house, which was a little bit out of. We're about 10 miles from the centre of Nicon, New York, from the city of Nicon, New York, in the first house. How much to bring the cable out to us? I think they quoted me something close to £1,000 to bring it out. We went to somebody called what? I can't think who we got now. Oh, 3BBB. How
right.
much to bring it out of money? £20. 20.
Yeah. Ours was like 680 baht a month or something.
No, I'm talking about bringing the wires into the house.
That was free, man. They had to run that fibre optic like a kilometre to get to our house.
Oh, they did that for free.
Free. They did. Yeah, they just did it.
Oh, TOT quoted when I first look. I'm talking about 20 years ago. They quoted me close to it. No, I can't remember. It was a scary figure. Maybe it was 500. Maybe it was 400. It was scary to do this. 3BB, £20, and it was great.
Yeah. We got a 3BB. We got a 3BB in the village house because that's uses like a satellite dish on the roof.
All right.
But I think we've cancelled the internet subscription to that, and it just like still works as a TV.
I got you. Adrian, being an engineer and a bit of a nerd, what have you got Starlink yet, or what is it? What's Elon Musk stuff for?
No. Elon Musk Starlink. No.
Starlink, yeah.
Zig uses it.
All right.
In West Australia there.
I've got a cousin that uses it in Australia. He showed me him getting it put in, because you have to go on a waiting list, don't you, to get it? It's almost like buying
what I want to do with Starlink, it's a bit expensive because, a fixed service at your house at a geographic location, fixed, isn't too bad here. It's like about $100 compared to you got to pay $60 or $70 for a standard NBN sort of decent plan.
Right.
So it's not much more than this NBN that we have in Australia, the Starlink. But I'd like to have it for me, the mobile version of it, so I could put it in my boat, because I'd like to do some streaming while I'm out in my boat fishing or something. Or just, I've got no connection in me wherever I go down in my boat.
There isn't a mobile version yet, though, is there?
Yeah, there is. It's not, the normal one's like geographically tied to one location. But the mobile version you can use anywhere, and it's like a flat dish, flat plane dish, they call it, I think. The phased array thing, like a bit like a small solar panel is the antenna. So you can just stick that on your boat or your car roof or wherever you want to have your mobile internet, and off you go, and it works anywhere. Of course, being the satellite.
Adrian,
that's set up. Hang on, Steve. That plan to do that. The mobile version is like about $300 a month. So I can't really justify that.
Yeah. But Adrian, I have to pull you up, and I'm more guilty than you. I've got the chat in front of me, and you on your phone. I've been ignoring the chat. I do apologise. Yeah, we got rid of that chat's fucking brilliant. All these games, ping pong. Shane says, have you checked your line fluid or the modern pads and make sure you don't have a warped signal rotor? I think that was directed at you, Adrian.
For the brakes on the car.
I'll highlight it. Maybe you'll understand it. Hold on.
No, I'm looking at it. I don't quite know what we're talking. We're talking about brake fluid and brake pads. I don't know if it's on the car or the trailer. Hang on. I'm talking about my cruise control, my car's speed control. Yeah, that is playing up. But it won't be involved with the. Well, it could be involved with the brake switch when there's a switch on the brake pedal that kills the cruise control too. Could be the brake pedal switch, if that's what we're talking about.
So we'll go on to Spoon. Mr. Graham. Ziggy Poo, good evening. Sean, Spoony Poos. Spoon, spent 300 on cat ear mite anti-parasite and now I don't trust it because of Google search. I was, I'm surprised you're a cat man, Spoon. But anyway. All right. Oh, that was the last comment, I think.
We've seen Spoon's cat though when he used to put his video on at the pizza oven there in his house.
No.
Remember, Spoon always come on with his camera. That was one of his things, you know.
Well,
having his camera on.
It's really tricky. And do you do that? I mean, you remember, Adrian, when I first came on here, when we were talking about Dan's wall that was falling down. That's what triggered me to come and join you. I had my camera open, no problem, but I did realise very early on that I got a wet room to the left of me. To come from the living room, you have to come into my office to get to the wet room or the bedroom. Oh, fuck, this is going to be stupid. I know what an idiot I am. If I put my camera on, I'm going to be doxxed in the same way that other people are doxxed. Yeah. So I don't do it. And maybe Spoon has come to the same conclusion that it's just not worth the effort. Why put your face on camera when the most cunts just want to take a photograph of you and say you're an ugly fucker? Well, yes, of course I'm an ugly fucker. I'm an ugly old fucker. But fuck you. Go fuck yourselves. And all these these are guys going through a midlife crisis that have no idea where they're going in life and think that it gives them bigger balls to have a go at old guys that have been fairly successful and are fairly wealthy, living a decent life. Fucking cunts, all of them.
Look, there's no one in this genre. No one in this genre has ever put their camera on that you would anyway. Like, they're not movie stars, you know. They're just normal people, average normal people.
Exactly. And Adrian, the people that criticise. Look, if people came on criticising and they were, well, that's the point, isn't it? They're so sad.
None of them go to the wardrobe or the makeup room before they turn their camera on.
No. They're all ugly cunts.
Hang on.
That come on and say.
Maybe Lucy might go to the makeup section before.
Yeah. I think Lucy is a very good-looking man or girl. No question about it. Let me tell you a little story though, because only reminded me because Lucy keeps coming on and showing his calves because he's been working out.
Lucy was on the other night, but someone objected immediately and left the panel. I forget who it was. Gaza, and I really wanted Gaza more time. And Lucy came on. They don't. Those fellas don't see eye to eye with Lucy.
I don't like diversity in the left sort of the way, but I like lots of different people coming on the channel, and I think Lucy's okay. But he does these exercise things. He does these shorts where he just shows his calves. Adrian, I had the worst. Oh, come on, what? My calf. What's it called when it just goes it dies in the middle of the night? Shit.
Comps out.
What's the word? A cramp. Cramp.
Leg cramp. Yeah.
Leg cramp in my calf. Adrian, I've never had so much pain in my life.
Yeah,
I jumped out of bed and it was ridiculously painful. Tried to put my foot on the floor to get rid of it.
I know exactly what you're talking about, man. It's like fucking excruciating, crippling, and the pain's like searing like a hot knife in your leg.
It's ridiculous. And today, all day, still there. Not painful, but still a memory of it. Every time I walk, take a step, do anything, still that pain. What the hell causes that? I'm lying in bed and suddenly my calf muscle decides to fuck me up. I don't get it. Really don't.
And that pain, Steve, that's like your muscle sinew being ripped apart, right? It does repair itself, like all that shit, but man, it's...
Yeah, but why? Not
sugar.
like I was doing
too much sugar will trigger me with to a cramp situation. I think sometimes too much fucking sugar.
Spoon, my leg was already extended. And it did help when I jumped out of bed and put my foot on the floor and walked about. But,
put weight on it if you can. Like,
yes, I did that. Yep. Maybe your period.
It's going to happen too, Steve. Before it hits, you kind of, for about a minute, you just know that you got a tingling in your, like the tendon on the end of the muscle or whatever the fuck it is, I don't know, and you start moving your foot a little bit, but then you can't stop it, and bang, that fucking calf muscle.
Yeah, I've had that as well, but this one, I've had exactly what you're talking about, but that was in my foot. This one was in my calf, far more painful. And no, I had no warning.
Hang on, the lower leg muscle, is that the calf muscle?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The bit between your knee and your foot.
Exactly.
I've had cramp in my feet before, and you just stand up and it goes away in seconds, and it's not nice, but it's bearable. First time last night, my car hit me. Spoon, yeah. Spoon. I did. That was me last night. What? It was such a shock. Right, let's stop talking about old man's things. What are your young man's problems, Spoon? He's turned into an old man already, isn't he? He understands all the old man's illnesses.
Yeah, look, I'm going to say I'd probably have one of these like calf muscle cramps while I'm sleeping in the middle of the night. Probably about once a year, but like, man, you'll never fucking forget it. I'm trying to do something, Steve. These video mixes are fucking a bit. They're good, but like a learning curve, eh?
Let me just show you. Look, although I haven't got the audio working out, I quite like that I can do this. That's not even worked, has it? Fuck me. That was working last night. Now, hold on, let me go back in. And that's the problem, Adrian. It's so fucking fragile. You set it all up and go back in, and it doesn't fucking work.
Well, like I'll tell you, my one. I was saying like the audio is a little bit tricky with these video mixes, like your OBS, and like that documentary. I got to play it like you do with your the video going, but then the audio that you can hear, I just turn the mic on, so that comes out of my normal microphone. Like I can't get the audio from the linked content to play using my video
Right.
mixer. I haven't figured it out myself, so it's not easy, Steve.
Well, I mean, let's face it, that's why we all use StreamYards, because it works. That's the joy of it. It genuinely works. You haven't got the options to do what you can do on OBS, but most of the stuff I'm playing with don't really need. You know, I can change the image chat. I can get rid of the text. I can do that one up there, get rid of that. So you got that. You can play around with it, and I could have maybe 100 different images. But when you're trying to stream, it's just unreliable.
Okay, that's the best picture I've found. I can't find the one with me and John Travolta, but like this is John Travolta's 707. Just when it arrived,
hold on.
Like he'd already got out and disappeared with the dignitaries, but like we were still there. So there's another picture. That's with his 707 aeroplane. So he flew that in. He flew that into Brisbane.
Make yourself solo, Johnny. Sorry, Adrian.
Oh yeah. So there's me with his 707.
Oh, beautiful.
And so it's done up in the old Qantas colours, like the V-Jet tail, Australia's overseas airline.
That's a great photo. The way the sun's hitting the wing.
The leading edge there, yeah.
Isn't that great?
Oh, his plane is highly polished aluminium. Like the unpainted parts are all been polished. It's like a showpiece, that aircraft. Real piece of history there, right there, that plane.
Brilliant.
And he parks at 707. It's a decent sized 4-engine jetliner of the 70s, like the 60s, the 707. And he parks out at his house. Out the back of his house, he's got like a hangar and a proper little tarmac parking area for about 3 aeroplanes that he owns. And then that backs like a taxiway straight to that from a runway. That's in his backyard.
Wow.
Of his man. Yeah.
No, he's a cool guy. No question about it.
You know, he's got other planes. He's got like a business jet, like a Gulfstream or something. He's got a few planes, John Travolta.
I tell you what, I was surprised to learn only 2 or 3 weeks ago is that private jets fly higher and faster than commercial stuff.
Yeah, they sometimes can. Yeah, more high performance than a commercial jet. A lot of them,
Yeah,
like those Gulfstreams and Citation jets, very high fucking performance aircraft.
yeah. I would never imagine that. I would have thought, because if you take it to marine stuff, uh, the QE, luxury liners, big ships go much quicker than speedboats most of the time through most weather. Unless you've got a Formula One powerboat, it's very hard to beat the QE2 or whatever. That's why for years the record, I think it was called the Blue Ribbon, for traveling from the UK to America was owned by the Queen Elizabeth. I don't know what boat it was. A cruise liner. It's because the ship's speed is determined by how long they are, hull length, and power. Hull length is very important.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was only when what's the guy that did the records? The Virgin guy, Branson. He took a really fast speedboat and beat it. He got the blue ribbon thing, but I don't know where I'm going with this story. But it's certainly in sailing until they worked out that using hydrofoils on catamarans was the quickest way to sail. Sailing speed was always judged by how big the hull was in the water. The bigger it
The
was,
length,
the faster it went.
like the length of it, Steve.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Well,
I'm going to go and get another. I'm going to get another. I think I'm out of beer now. I'm going to get a coffee. I'll be back in a minute, Adrian.
very, 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 very fixed hydrodynamics, like the physics involved in what happens in boats. Hydrodynamics is very predictable, and like most of those boats, Steve, are not planing. The hulls don't plane out of the water, so they're displacement hulls in the main, right?
Yeah.
And it's very predictable, like a formula, like the length of a boat, the maximum speed, without having ridiculous, impossible engines.
Yeah, have you seen these things that hydroplane out? They're catamarans.
Yeah, but so that's different. They're planing hulls. They're planing
Yeah.
hulls, right?
Yeah. Well, no, in plane, the hydrofoil, they can have 20 knots of wind and travel at 40, 45 knots.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy.
I've been on a fast power boat at 45 knots. Probably the quickest I've ever been on a boat. Fucking quick. On a boat, that is ridiculously quick. And these America's Cup catamarans are doing that speed. Yes. When they fall down, it's all gone. Adrian, I've got to get a drink, mate. I'll be back in a bit.
And the technology involved in the sail, like they got the weirdest looking sails, but the technology involved in designing those sails to get that performance is probably in the realms of like rocket science. It's surprising most of these warships, Steve, like fucking cruisers, whatever, even battleships, like they got enormous power, the engines. And like they're always got a top speed of like 28 knots, maybe 30 knots. Because they reach a limit in the hydrodynamics, like the amount of power you need to go faster just gets ridiculously bigger. I think one of the fastest boats, Steve's one of these like nuclear powered aircraft carriers does something, can do like 40 knots. And they say like, oh, it might actually be faster, but it's a bit classified. Like, who knows? It might hit 45 knots. Yeah, but fuck, they've got to get like a couple like nuclear powered fucking engines totally maxed out to do it, I guess.
Okay, I'm back.
Going
the
fast
weirdest-
on the water. Hey, Steve, going fast on the water. It's surreal. But if something goes wrong, it happens very, very fucking quickly on the water going that fast.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't have any time to react when something goes fucking badly wrong going that fast on the water. You know, it's like a car, it's like just normal slow pace around the street, like 40 knots, right? But on the water, things happen very, very quick, hey?
But have you read any of the old so much to say? Look, Adrian, I don't know if you this is just my favourite subject. Have you read any of all the old war, you know, the Napoleonic Wars stuff with the galleons going into battle? There's been lots of movies and books around it.
Yeah.
Those boats move so slowly that you could almost the whole battle was in slow motion. Occasionally you see them where, you know, they got the winds rolling and they're blasting through. But most of the time it was like, I've got my boat and you've got your boat and we're just maneuvering into position. The reason Nelson did so well against the Spanish fleet was because the English boats were far more maneuverable and quicker, and they sailed straight through the Spanish Armada and annihilated them because they probably didn't have the gunpowder, and also the English have always been very good at reloading. We had the best guys doing arrows, but guns, whatever. They've always been quite good at that. And it was the same.
My understanding. That's my understanding too. Like back in the sailing boat battle days, that era, England definitely had the strongest navy.
Oh yeah.
And they kind of say like the French, like the Napoleon side of the thing, in a land battle, they could have invaded and taken over England quite easily, like army land battle wise, but the navy, because of the strong British navy, they could never take their army there. You know, they'd get wiped out. Yeah.
It's still called in England. The navy is still considered the senior service. And you used to have cigarettes called the senior service, and I smoked a lot of them when I was a kid. Senior service cigarettes.
I think America, the navies might be considered the main power base. You know.
I know.
Like you notice, like often, like they're the highest guy in the military, whatever, not the Secretary of Defense, but like they'll have the actual military man there. And it's often an admiral, right? It's often Admiral someone.
Yeah.
So that's head of the Navy or something, right? Admiral. Oh, England was unbeatable in sea battles. I think they
It
were.
really
Did they ever
was.
get? Did they ever get defeated, Steve? Did they ever lose like a fleet of battleships or something? The British in a battle?
They probably did in the Second World War. I think
Oh no, in
was
them galleon
probably,
days, the
but no,
sailing.
I don't think so. No, it was a real industry for the UK back in those days.
Oh, England got cleaned up in World War Two in the around the Solomon Islands in the Battle of the Pacific. There's like the British had a fleet of cruisers or destroyers or something. The Japanese sunk them straight up, bang.
Yeah,
And then America, like the Australians were involved. We lost a few as well in the same battle. The British lost their 2 ships, and the Aussies lost a couple. One made it back to Australia, but the Japanese Navy decimated them in the Solomons. Then America stepped
absolutely.
in, and
And I mean, look, the one of the only reasons we won the Second World War is because the Japanese did Pearl Harbor. Until then, America wasn't involved with it. America wasn't the world police at the time. They didn't want to know what's going on. Who was the president then? Roosevelt? Was it Roosevelt? Or I think so. He didn't want to get involved in a war.
Churchill.
Was it? I think it was. Look, I could be totally wrong. Any Americans watching this, I could be 100% wrong. I think it was Roosevelt that was president, and the last thing he wanted was to get involved in a war in a war thousands of miles away. At that time, America wasn't bothered about the rest of the world at all. Very only concerned with their own stuff. I wish that stayed the same way.
Well, America was keeping England going for a lot of that war. You know, all the Atlantic merchant navy.
No. I'm talking about when it started. Roosevelt didn't want to join the war at all.
No.
The only reason they joined the war was because of Pearl Harbor. If Japan had not done Pearl Harbor, America would have kept out of it, and probably Germany would have won.
That American bombing, you know, they brought all them like bombing group to England and had all the American B-17 bombers and some other types.
B-17,
those old B-17 bombers doing all the heavy bombing of Germany. Really, I think, saved the day for England.
No, that's not how it happened, Johnny. If you look at old war films of Germany, until about 1943, 44, they didn't even know a war was going on. It's rather like if Australia was fighting a war in Vietnam, the Australians had no idea the war was going on. You know, your money was going towards it, just as Americans and whatever, but there was no effect at all. The object of bombing Dresden was to show them that it was a real war, and that's when it was to demoralize the Germans, because England had been bombed. We'd had blitzes on England for years, 2 or 3 years. You know, we've got one of the weirdest things is we've got a city in England called Hull, northeast of England. Sorry, no, northeast England. It was flattened, bombed more than anywhere. Places I know: Southampton, Plymouth, London, obviously, were bombed. And we had a guy called Bomber Harrison who just turned around and said, "Fuck 'em. let's do the same.
Hang on.
But that was towards the end of the war.
Yeah, it's towards the end of the war.
It,
Hang on, Steve. That was okay. That was a total, almost like a war crime. What happened in Dresden with the firebombing? It was just indiscriminate killing of
yeah,
not
but
really
we'd had about
value.
England had about 2 or 3 years of it.
Exactly, but that was a response to like something like the V1 bombs or the V2 bomb missile or something, right?
The V, yeah.
That Dresden bombings was like a response to that, wasn't it?
No, I'm not an expert. I wish my dad was here because he was alive and he's told me loads of stories about it. And my mum too. And she's heard. She's heard.
The Americans were not happy. The Americans were not happy with how the British bombed Dresden with the firebombing.
Well, talk to the descendants from Hull. Hull was flattened. Hull is a small fishing city in the northeast of England. Bombed ridiculously because it was an easy target. Plymouth. If you look at Plymouth now, Plymouth, which is Drake's homeland and where most of our navy went from. Oh Christ, my microphone's going, so I might die in a minute. Plymouth was bombed. If you look at Plymouth now, it's designed like an American city because it was all flattened and they built it like an American city. All straight lines, all on blocks. You won't find any other city like Plymouth in England because it was so flattened.
Was it like a fishing village?
No, Plymouth. No, it's a big city in the southeast, southwest of England. It's where Navy was set up. All along the south coast.
The Germans did have the best technologies and new groundbreaking technologies that were newly invented, and no one had a response to them like at the time. And the first being that V1 cruise missile, and then the V2 ballistic missile, and that super cannon thing they were setting up but never actually fired.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that super cannon base, it had like about 30 of these 300-foot long tubes all pointed towards London, but luckily they never turned that got it working, I don't think.
As I say, the only reason that the West survived against Germany is because Pearl Harbor, Hitler made lots of big mistakes in his war. He actually quite admired England, so he sort of backed down. What was the movie where they got people out of Dunkirk? When they pulled the troops out of Dunkirk, they could have killed far more people, and they almost let us off. The Battle of Britain.
Dunkirk was a total disaster, wasn't it?
No, it was a big success. I mean, England went in, all guns blaring, then realised that they didn't really have anybody, and retreated to the beaches.
Yeah.
If Hitler had really wanted to kill, they could have killed farm. They could have almost destroyed the whole British army. The fact that I don't know. I think we lost maybe 100,000, a couple of divisions,
and achieved nothing. Like hit the beach, get decimated, and retreat back into the boats. What's left? Like that? Well, can't call that a win, eh?
No, it wasn't a win, but it could have been a much more of a worse loss. It could have been far worse for the UK than it was. Germany didn't kill as many people as they could have done. There's a great movie. The movie that is a bit boring. I think it's just called Dunkirk. They expected to lose 400,000, 500,000 troops, and they lost less than 100,000. So that was a win. The Battle of Britain, you know, the fight thing where they all the Spitfires against the Messerschmitts.
Put up a good defence against that.
Look, okay, look. England did really well, brilliantly well in not losing the Second World War. We stood our ground when we should have lost it.
Oh, well, I think once again, I think the British Navy was too powerful for anyone to do the land invasion, even into those 1940s, right? The British Navy was still very. Though the Germans had got those fucking battleships, that one they could never sink, Tirpitz, or what was that big fucking Russian battleship? They always tried to hunt it down, but they might have caught it in a Norwegian fjord or something and hammered it there with aerial bombing. I don't know. That fucking German battleship, though, I think that was more powerful than anything the British Navy had at the time. These wars, you know, look back, what did that achieve? Like, absolutely nothing. Like, it shows the futility of the wars, I think. Absolutely nothing come of it. Except the Cold War, I guess, to keep going. Steve's dropped out again. His internet's playing up. I guess the big invasion of what was it at D-Day, the D-Day invasion, and take back of France and the march right to finish the Germans off. That was quite a good win, of course.
Okay, I've got
what's the D-Day invasion called? Well, that was quite the success. That won the war, right? Destroyed the.
Can you hear me, Adrian?
Yeah, you're back.
All right. Now, my mic died. It's a Bluetooth, you know, so it only lasts for a couple of hours and it dies.
I was just saying, Steve, all of that World War II with England and Germany, and what did it really achieve? Like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was a total waste of time. So many people killed and slaughtered, and infrastructure destroyed, and civilization almost lost for fucking nothing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But people get angry. Hitler actually admired the way a small, very, very small country like the UK had colonized, I don't know, at least a quarter of the world. And he wanted to do the same. That's all. And if you look at the weirdest thing, if you look at the Time magazine cover from 1930s, I don't know, 1936, 37, Hitler was Man of the Year because he turned round the German economy.
Is that when they had the Olympics in Munich? And
I'm not sure. I'm guessing that would have been 36. Don't know. But
I think just right before the
West was calling him Man of the Year. You imagine? Let's pick a shitty country, Argentina. At the moment, Argentina has 100% inflation, over 100% inflation every year. Just imagine if this new president that comes in turns it around to Argentina being a really successful country. People would call him man of the year. That's what Hitler did in Germany. He turned the economy round. I mean, it was a case in Germany where you needed a wheelbarrow of money to go and buy a loaf of bread. The inflation was ridiculous. Had no money.
That's like the mid-30s before the war, right? A few years before the war started. The mid-30s, yeah.
Mm.
And you know, Steve, well, this is what they say. Strong information out there that America financed Hitler.
Yeah, they probably. I've never thought about it, but I'm sure you're right, Adrian.
Like, you know how around the world they select a leader that suits their purpose at the time.
Yeah, but no, I do disagree, because at that time America was, I can't think of the word, but they just bothered by themselves. They didn't care about the rest of the world. So now, I could say that now for a problem in the world, but no, they.
Well, the story goes.
I can't think of the word where you only think about yourself. But that's what America was like then. Didn't give a fuck about it.
The story goes.
I've heard phone chats of Churchill, who was quite a strong man, begging Roosevelt to give him some help, begging him to say, "Look, come on, we're losing this. We need help." And Roosevelt was saying, "No, we don't want to get involved." It was only because of Pearl Harbor that America got involved. If Japan hadn't done Pearl Harbor, we'd have lost. I don't know. Look, right. I'll say this very clearly. The UK did really, really fucking well to not lose the war. The people that won it were America and Russia. If they hadn't have come into it, if Hitler hadn't have started an Eastern Front and gone against Stalin, we'd have been fucked. England did really well not to lose, but it was America and Russia that really won it. I mean, 20 million Russians died. I think there's only 1 million or 3 UK guys died. Probably the same in America. 20 million Russians died in the bitter fight, in the snow and the ice and the cold and whatever. So that's why they don't like Nazis. Plenty
No
of
one's
families
going
do well.
no one's going to like anyone that comes and takes over your land.
No. Unless it's immigration, Graham.
Yeah, unless you pay for it.
Immigration's okay. You can let everybody just come in without shooting them. That's okay.
Yeah.
Immigration is fine. And that's what
pay for them becomes, Steve. And pay for them becomes.
Yeah. That's what's so ridiculous. We spend all our lives protecting our little country, and we are, underneath it, we're still all fairly tribal. Even though I think my country is fucked, I'm still an Englishman. I'd probably still fight for England, because it's inbuilt into me. I can't get rid of that feeling that I'm born an Englishman. But we're not having no wars anymore. We just say, oh, like, just come on in, take over. Fuck all our women. That's okay. Do whatever you want. We'll pay for you. Just come in, you have your own religion. You want to change our religion? Okay, you can change our religion. Your religion is much better than our religion. Let's do yours. It's so fucking stupid. Graham, the new Argentinian president is planning on dropping most social programs. He will turn the country around within 2 years. Yeah, Graham, I can agree more, mate. I love the guy. Don't misunderstand me. I don't know too much about him, so I could be totally wrong. But I love what I've been hearing from him. I think he will link the currency to the American dollar. But yeah, and your last comment, yeah, of course they want to assassinate him because you can't have South American country doing well. Where did we get our labour from? Where did we get all these cheap immigrants from if the country's doing fucking well? It's so horrible. But I like the guy. He's one of the good. There's not much good news, Graham, in the world politics. But the fact that this guy got elected, I'm not sure, but I think it was quite an easy victory. That's a big win for sanity and common sense.
I wouldn't have thought, Steve, Argentina would be like a third world dictatorship country.
I don't know. I can only remember the Falklands War. I think Argentina's been going through shit for many years, hasn't it? I don't know. Don't know much about it.
They seem to be presented as being almost third worldish, or the governments are always like a dictator, repressor, or something. You know, like I don't know. But to me, Argentina looks like an advanced country, like a developed country.
Yeah, we all only see little bits of news, don't we? I mean, it was quite interesting to watch Cheap Charlie go to Mexico, and I think he went to Colombia as well. And when you see Gypsy in China, all these countries look far better than we ever see about them on the news. When Charlie was in Mexico and Colombia, they all look far more affluent than we think they are.
Yeah.
I think we're lied to all the time. And that's why I got angry last night. People lied to about Thailand. Third world country, home of paedophilia. Fuck you. No, it's not. And I think it's probably the same for countries like Argentina, Colombia. There's probably horrible things going on.
These are big countries, horrible. Right? I don't know the population of Argentina, but I believe it's quite big. Argentina's or pretty sure Brazil's got like over 200 million people or something. These are big countries, right? Peru as well. They're another one, a bit like Argentina. You get the impression they're like a dictatorship governments, or Venezuela. You know, they hate that guy who runs as the president or whatever he is of Venezuela, because they don't toe the line of the the people who supposedly control the world. They don't seem to toe the line. Perhaps they're not happy with like the central banking system that has to be enforced on them, or something. There's something.
Well, I've just Googled it, Adrian, and Argentina is 45 million. Colombia is 51 million. Chile is 19 million. So they're
how much is in Brazil? How many people in Brazil?
I don't. Give me 5 seconds. I'm guessing you're right. I'd go for 200 million as well.
I'm guessing
Brazil. No, I would agree with you. I'm guessing it's going to be close to that. Brazil population, you're down to 214 million.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's a fucking huge population for very fucking powerful. Or it should be. That maybe that's what they're scared of.
Well, America has turned into a horrible country. They keep these other countries. I mean, because Cuba went communist, they stopped. I mean, if you stop trading with another country, it's like me saying, look, you've got a shop, Adrian, and you sell things, and I say to you, I'm not going to buy anything more from you, and I'm going to tell all my friends not to buy anything more from your shop. You're fucked. And that's what America is really good at. They do it in Iran. They do it all the time in South America. Cuba is the worst. I mean, there's still American cars from, I mean, it looks beautiful on photos where you got American cars from the 1950s. But even now, they don't sell them cars. You know, it's just horrendous. America are bullies. They really are.
The thing is, the leaders of these countries that rise to power, that they're not puppets and at beck and call to the overriding power there. They do what they feel's best for their country, and it doesn't involve like kowtowing and allowing certain things to happen in their country. Like they haven't got the puppet leader. That's the thing. You've got to have the puppet leader that has taken the knee fully to the powers.
And until you get to the Ukraine, where you got a guy who is obviously as bent as an iBob note, but takes as much money as you can from the West. Oh, we're going to support him. The world is so fucked. It really is. Adrian, I'm going to call it a night, mate. My OBS doesn't work. Don't know how to sort it out, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. I will persevere. I'll be back. Thanks for joining the channel, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed our chat. Thank you to Dan and who was on earlier as well? I forget.
It's time, Steve, before you go, it's time to do some like YouTube tutorial video training on OBS.
Well, no, I wish. Anyway,
no, if you just search for OBS
what do you think
audio.
What do you think I've spent the whole of Sunday doing, Adrian?
Drinking beer.
I thought this would work perfectly. If I play what I play to you and record it, it is not perfect. It is better than perfect. I have no idea why it's not getting through to StreamYards or YouTube or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I've spent not all day obviously, but I've spent 2 or 3 hours setting it up, all work, recorded. Before I set the stream up tonight, I did it. I recorded it, all working. No idea where my setting is that allows me to record it, but won't send it down the line to YouTube. Never mind.
Are you using a headset? Do you use a headset, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you just have like a speaker there with your audio, that'll come through your microphone while the OBS is playing the video. But you'll need like a little Bluetooth speaker or something, and your microphone will resend that into the stream. Yeah?
Honestly, Adrian, I've tried everything. I've got Bluetooth speakers in my ears. I've tried just using the computer microphone and stuff, and I've got a big loudspeaker to the left of me that blasts after I've tried every combination I can think of, And tonight, I really thought I got it sorted because when I recorded it,
if I was over there, I'd come and have a look at it for you.
Okay. Okay. Get on the plane tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow evening, Adrian.
Cheers. And make sure it's working.
We've got a guest bedroom here. Just sort out. Look.
Make sure it's working
Don't
tomorrow night.
misunderstand me, Adrian. It's actually a bit of fun. Gets my brain working to sort it out. Makes no difference.
It'll be something very simple.
Day, who really wants to see the little video clips I produce? Nobody really. And I could do it all on StreamYard. But I know other ways to do it, but I won't be beaten by OBS. Anyway,
that's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Graham, Aztec, Spoon, Shane Goodison. Great name. That's about all I can see. Scrolling up. Thank you very much for joining the chat.
Yeah, good night.
Okay, Adrian. Unless you want to carry on, I'll close the stream now.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Yeah, good night.